Welcome, friends. Welcome, everybody. And a special welcome back, Mary Young. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Miriam. Glad to be here.
I'm so glad you are. Today, we are celebrating you for your book release, your second children's book. Can you show everybody the new book and tell them the title?
The loudest whisper.
Very nice. And
Whisper.
I love that title because that is already intriguing. That makes me want to know more. Can you tell everybody what the book is about and who it's for?
Yes. The book is about a little boy in first grade with selective mutism. But even if you don't have selective mutism, it's for anyone who's ever walked into a room and you were not able to speak. Your words just kind of vanish. They hit. You knew what you wanted to say, but the words just didn't come out of your mouth. That's what
Mhm,
selective mutism is. It's an anxiety disorder that makes someone just incapable of speaking.
mhm,
They're capable of speaking, but the words just don't come out. Okay.
mhm,
And The Loudest Whisper, the title of the book, was generated by the breakthrough that this little boy with selective mutism experienced. Um, he didn't he didn't scream or shout in school one day. He didn't proclaim anything. He just simply whispered the word yes to his teacher when his teacher said, "Do you need help?" And for a child with selective mutism, that's a huge breakthrough. That's a huge breakthrough. So I
mhm.
felt like I had to tie that breakthrough moment. I had to come up with a title that honored that breakthrough moment. I mean, I had over 100 possible titles, and I felt that they just didn't represent this book. They didn't
Mhm.
speak to this moment with this child with selective mutism. And so I kept reading the end of the book over and over and over, and I said, "That's it, the loudest whisper." Whispers are quiet, but this one was loud. It was such a great moment.
Yes, yes. And having read the book, it's just so perfect, Mary. It's so perfect. It's like it's the loudest win, right? That win is that whisper. What is it that you hope parents and kids will take away from this book?
Oh, wow. A lot. A lot. I I I wrote this book to increase awareness about selective mutism. I mean, that's the core message here,
Mhm,
selective selective mutism. Um, I knew nothing about this, in all honesty. I'm almost embarrassed to say that, having been a special ed teacher for almost 20 years. But in helping my daughter get her 3-year-old to speech therapy, um, and we would he would go to speech therapy and he would be very quiet. He would talk all the way in the car on the way there, and we'd get there and he'd clam up. So finally, after weeks and weeks of this, the speech therapist said, "I think we might be dealing with selective mutism." And when that was communicated to me, it was like, well, what is that?
mhm,
And it was very sad how little information is out there in the real world, um, regarding selective mutism. What it is, what do you do about it? How do you help somebody with selective mutism? And so I began reading anything and everything I could get my hands on to support my daughter's family in helping my grandson. And,
mhm.
and it was it was a situation where, he would be very active, very normal in a day in his own family setting, but then once he would leave that setting, and many times he didn't even want to leave the setting because
Right.
what if somebody looks at me and wants me to speak to them? So rather than even put himself through that, he would just not want to go anywhere. So it's this really it's this snowball that just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, without some type of intervention. So the whole point of this book is to show people that it's not just for the kids, it's for the parents reading it to the kids.
Hmm.
Don't ignore your child's what looks like shyness when you leave home. Maybe they
Hmm.
are just shy, but if it's something that's prolonged, if it's a repetitive pattern, um, get help. Get
Yes.
help from somebody who specializes in selective mutism. It's its own very niche kind of anxiety disorder. So, um, you know, and I can give a shout out right away to somebody who has spent most of her professional career as a psychologist. Um, she specializes in selective mutism. She's a national expert, international expert, Dr. Amy Kocherba. She's the owner of Thriving Minds Behavioral Health based in Michigan. But she has Confident Kids camps. She has a camp right here in my area, in the DC area. Um, she's written fantastic books. In fact, the book that was used by my daughter and us really as the selective mutism Bible is a book called Overcoming Selective Mutism, a Parent's Field Guide. Everything and anything you want to know.
Mm.
It's a great book, and I would strongly urge any parent out there who thinks their kid might
Yes.
might be selectively mute to get a copy of it.
Hmm. Mary, I love that you gave her a shout out, and I want to give you a shout out for writing this book out, The Loudest Whisper, because as I read it in a children's picture book, first of all, I love the way you write. As as an adult, I'm understanding what's happening in there, and I think as children, whether they're going through it or perhaps there's a child in their classroom who's very quiet, who doesn't say very much, they can start understanding why that happens. So I think just bringing the awareness to all of us, that's key. And I know this is why you wrote this book, but again, I was entertained by the story, and at the same time, I am taking away so much from the story. So I think kids and parents are going to enjoy this book. I think every school should have this book, every classroom should have this book in their classroom. So you did a wonderful, wonderful job with this book.
Miriam, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Would you hold it up one more time? I want to tell our viewers this book is available today on Amazon. So make sure to go there. You will see everything that we've just been talking about. You'll be able to appreciate that. And the kids in your life are going to enjoy it. It's a little boy who's also, I think a lot of children can appreciate going into school, feeling shy, feeling quiet. All those things are emotions that all children have. So you're really going to enjoy this book. And then you can also, Mary will give information at the end as to where you can find her or extra materials on all of this. Um, okay, so this is the second children's book that you've written.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your first book.
The famous pink shoes.
Yes.
Yeah, so Pink Shoes is a book written about a little boy who fell in love with his pink shoes, and not all of his friends liked his choice. And it is it is very simply a book doing its best to tell kids, be yourself,
Mhm.
do you. Don't worry about what everybody thinks about your pink shoes. Just wear them and enjoy them and honor your own authentic self. And um, it's actually a book that lends itself very easily to discussions about bullying, um, standing up for yourself in a nice way. I think sometimes we kind of get a little off base when we start talking about bullying. I think it's important when we talk about bullying to still keep in mind that we need to be kind to one another. We need to understand that the bully probably needs just as much love as the ones being bullied. Um, and I think Pink Shoes just opens up all kinds of discussions about that.
Mhm. It's a wonderful book. So I wanted to make sure you mentioned that because, friends, when you're on Amazon looking for The Loudest Whisper, look for Pink Shoes also. Both books are wonderful. I can see resemblance in the characters. So this is my question to you. After writing one book, what inspired you to write a second book?
So I'm becoming to think, Miriam, more and more that that is my sole purpose for being here.
Mm.
Um, I'm learning it a little late in life, but I don't have any trouble speaking up for those that don't have a voice or
Mhm,
are finding their voice. Um, I think that I think that I'm supposed to be writing children's books. And I
mhm,
think that I'm supposed to be taking on some of these more challenging topics. Um, this was actually, The Loudest Whisper was actually harder for me to write than Pink
mm,
Shoes. Um, I struggled with it. I really did. I struggled with it. And I mean, Sharon, my editor, knows this better than anybody because the first manuscript I submitted to her, I think, was 1,400 words. And I thought, oh my God, Sharon's going to take one look at this and go, what? She's done this before. What is she doing? Um, but I also knew that Sharon would help me cut through um, and so it is the book is really very purposeful. I start the book by letting everybody know Carson is a very normal 6-year-old and then some. You know, he
mhm,
can do all the things 6-year-olds can do plus. So it's not that this kid is not speaking because he's not intelligent, you
mhm,
know, or he isn't capable of speaking. It's not that. You know, we have to look beyond that. And so I'm actually very proud of it. I'm very proud of The Loudest Whisper. I think it accurately reflects and shows and illustrates all the invisible parts of what selective mutism is like
mhm,
for a kid.
mhm.
So,
Yes, yes. I am so glad you went through that. And sometimes we think the second book is going to be so much easier than the first,
you
but it's not always the case. I'm so glad you stuck with that because now we get to enjoy this book. So tell me about your illustrator. I believe it's the same illustrator as Pink Shoes.
it is. It is.
Yes.
Beatrice Castro, and I'm so smitten with her. Um, she was great. She just took off. She did not need uh, really any support from me. I said the characters are the same. We've added a dog, but she just kind of knows what to do. She's got this sixth sense about, what needs to be added. And I sent her some pictures of the lovey um,
Hmm.
because I wanted that is the actual lovey that my grandson carried in his backpack to school every day of first grade. That is
Hmm.
the actual lovey. And she
And
referenced
Lovey is the
the
blankie
blanket.
for,
Yes.
yes.
With the tattered and torn brown tag from all of
Hmm.
the rubbing that he does to it when he's anxious. So,
Hmm.
I mean, we didn't leave anything out. We covered all the bases. And, selective mutism is, I mean, all through the process of writing this book, my grandson would ask me, Mimi, are you still writing that book about me? And I would say, yeah, I'm still writing it. And every time I would get some illustrations from Beatrice, I wanted to show him. He didn't want to see them, which
Oh,
which
no.
is also part of selective mutism. Those kids don't want all eyes on them. They
Mm,
don't want to be the center of attention.
okay.
Okay, they just want to blend in the background. So he has not seen this book yet. He knows it's out. He knows he knows launch day is coming.
Hmm.
So, but I'm not going to be able to sit down with him and, oh, look, it's
Right.
here. I'm just going to have to hand it to him and say, here it is, and give him time and space with it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then I can circle back and say, can
Hmm.
we read it together?
Hmm. That's
Because
smart.
I'm honoring his
Hmm.
feelings
Yeah.
about it.
Yes, that's good. Mary, how does it feel for you having another children's book out in the world?
It feels great. It feels great. And you know, I I savored the milestones this time, because they didn't come so easily.
Hmm.
I mean, writing the manuscript was intense. It was hard. There were a couple of times where I said, okay, I this is too much. This is bigger than I can do. There's too much involved here. But and then I would look at my grandson and say, no, I don't want anybody else to say selective mutism. What's that?
Right.
I want people to know it's selective mutism. I mean, these kids can be helped. They can assimilate. They can become talkers in
Hmm.
all settings. You know, um, there's help out there.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
just keep saying, no, I'm gonna press through.
And you persevered. So good. And now we get to enjoy this book. And again, the awareness for everybody, for teachers to have a book like this. You
Yes,
shared a little bit with me that your grandson's teacher was so great with him. And I mean, people need resources. So that this
yes.
book is part of that. It's a resource. So I just want to stop for a moment and remind everybody that The Loudest Whisper is on Amazon. It's there as a soft cover, a hardcover, and ebook format. And of course, while you're there, check out Pink Shoes. You're also going to enjoy that. And Mary, where else can our viewers find you?
So I am on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. On Facebook, it's Mary Wade Young. On Instagram, it's at Mary Young Author. And I also have a website, maryyoungauthor.com. So
Okay, good. And I'm sure, well, they can find your books there. Will you be sharing other resources? I know
yes,
that there's resources in the book. Maybe tell us a little bit about that.
yes, I do intend to share on my website a resource for parents, who have children who have been diagnosed with selective mutism or just suspect selective mutism. It's a terrific parent letter that a parent can complete very quickly. On one half, you give specific information about your child that
Mhm.
all classroom teachers want kids to tell them at the start of the school year. And if your kid has selective mutism, they're not going to talk. On the other side of this form is information that the teacher can use about selective mutism. Don't demand the child to speak. Make connections with the child first. Let the child point, let the child nod. Yes, communication
Mhm.
board. So it's a great resource that will be available on my website as well.
Excellent. I love everything about your book and everything about what you're doing, Mary. Before we go, is there anything else you would like to share or anything that you wish I would have asked you?
No, you're very good at this. You cover all the bases. No, I'm thrilled that this book is out there. It's available. The Loudest Whisper, it does not have clinical jargon in it. It's not that kind of a book. It's a book that will let you know what it looks like and feels like to be a kid with selective mutism going through a school day. And if you, as Miriam has said, it's applicable to everybody. Maybe your child isn't selectively mute, but maybe he sits next to a child who is in school. It's a great book, and I'm hopeful to get it in the hands of as many schools, daycare centers, service providers, teachers that I can.
Perfect. And we can all do our part in that. So, friends, go read the book yourself, and then you're going to want to grab another copy. If your children are in school right now, they're anywhere from 4 to 8 years old, grab a copy of that book. Christmas comes around, the holidays come around, end of year, beginning of school year. These are the great resources to gift schools, to gift your child's classrooms, and teachers will appreciate that. So good. Well, thank you, Mary, for being here, and thank you for writing another impactful book for children.
Okay. And thank you, Miriam, and your team for all you're doing for all of us writers that want to get the word out. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mary.